Hello and welcome back to all of you who were just with me for the Sandra Birchmore press conference. The feds have charged Matthew Farwell, former Stoughton police officer, with murder in the Sandra Birchmore case, a case that was ruled a suicide by the Massachusetts State Police when, tragically, Sandra Birchmore was murdered by former police officer Matthew Farwell, and now will finally face federal charges. And the death penalty may be on the table for that case because, yes, there is a federal death penalty. We are waiting now, if you've joined me, for the Robert Tellis verdict, which thankfully did not happen at the same time as the Josh Leavitt U.S. Attorney press conference. What do you got? How are you guys feeling about this? I can't believe that this verdict took so long. I mean, this is day 3 of Verdict Watch, and we've been here for it. And we've all been waiting. We've all been waiting by the TV, by the phone, by the YouTube, by the Twitter, wherever you chose to wait for it. And they did reach a verdict a while ago, but they announced that they were not going to read it until 3 p.m. So why? Is it because they needed to get more security in the courthouse? I don't know. Let me see here, because I was following a local reporter. I want to see what time she said they actually announced that the verdict was going to be read. That was about an hour ago. And we're here for it. I don't know. It made me nervous. I went back and I watched that testimony of the guy who was working on the sewer project. And when I watched that video back, because remember the video that they showed us in the closing where they zoomed in of the driver of what looked like Tellis's Denali, looks like he has hair. And there was just a time on that video. There was no date on the video. So I went back and I watched the testimony, and it was on day 1 of the trial, the same day as the openings. And there was a date stamp on that video, and it was the date of the murder. It was 9/2 of 2022. But it was later. It was like 12:09 p.m. And wasn't Tellis already at Planet Fitness by then? Which means that it could have been a different person, or it could have been a wig. You know? So I don't know if that was enough reasonable doubt for one person to hang this jury. We're going to see. Lee says it didn't look like him in the car, but the crazy hat killer was definitely him. Right. And again, Gehrman's DNA underneath his fingernails, the cut up straw hat in his garage, the cut up shoe, the crazy tweets. I mean, add it all together. I know, Mama She. Can't believe we're on day 3 for this. I can't either. Thank you so much for the 10. There's some other people that I needed to thank from the last stream that I didn't get to. So if you're here, thank you, Cheryl, for your Venmo. That was so very kind of you. And Mama She, thank you very much for commenting on the Sandra Birchmore stream, and for your Cash App, and says it is the most sick when kids are SA'd from their bio dad. Yeah, that's horrifying, 100%. And also thank you to Melinda for dropping the federal indictment on me earlier today. That was very kind of you, for getting me the papers the way you always do, just out of the kindness of your heart. And all of you guys who sent me all of the information and always do. And also Christina, thank you for thanking me for my coverage and honesty through Venmo. And here we sit, my friends. Here we sit. Oh, people are rolling back into the courtroom. Thank you, Melissa. Thank you, Melissa, for becoming a new member. Welcome, welcome. I think you're going to like it here. Leandra, you haven't followed this one. Which one? Birchmore or Tellis? Thanks, Leandra. I wonder if your dad is following this Tellis trial with his buddies, as you tell me that he does like to watch. Let's go. Let's go. There's our favorite court officers right here. Remember how he would one of them or both would lounge in the back row with his arms up, like this sometimes. He was caught on camera, and people were not happy about that. D says, hopefully the jury was being careful given the scrutiny of jury behavior that we've seen in other cases. Yeah. Yeah. Let's hope. I know, Emily, somebody you should not have to be nervous about this, but everyone's nervous about this. The emails that you guys were sending me in the comments from yesterday's community post about the jury going home for the day and what is taking so long. Pamela says they found him guilty. It's evidently not a hung jury. They took their time going over the evidence. Go, jury. Thank you, Pamela, for being a voice of reason. But Mozzie says, I'm not so confident that the jury will get it right this time. Their questions are worrisome. Yeah, they asked for more paper and a second laptop the first time. And then the second time they wanted a copy, or they wanted to be provided with the side-by-side video of Tellis walking at his office and the perp walking. And the judge said no, because that's not evidence, and it was only in the closing. And they also wanted the exhibit number for Gehrman's videos, and they wanted, the other laptop. That was their second thing. Their third thing. Everybody take a deep breath. Boss baby is not present yet. Somebody wrote something like, I had no idea. I was Googling for days trying to figure out if somebody from the cartoon Boss Baby, like a producer or a director, was on trial for murder, and I didn't understand. It's just because his employees named him Boss Baby. They nicknamed him Boss Baby, and they filed a federal lawsuit against him and the county in which they work, Clark County, because he was a toxic boss and for other harassment, toxic workplace, discrimination. They nicknamed him Boss Baby. So I ran with it because I thought he just kind of looked like the cartoon. And then I started putting the cartoon on my thumbnail. Kimmy says there's armed guards waiting to take Tellis. Well, that's interesting because they will cuff him and put him into custody right away. Let's see who's in the courtroom today. There's Matt from Court TV, all the way on the right, dressed as always, spectacularly in a gray suit and white shirt, no tie. And I believe the blonde female in the purple dress is a local Las Vegas reporter. And in the back row are the women who filed the complaint against him. Look, there's Rita Reed. There's the 4, 1, 2, 3. Those are the 4 women that filed that federal complaint against him. They're there. They've been there because I had a news piece pulled up to show you. But now that we have a verdict, we're going to wait for the verdict. We can look. They were interviewed, I think, yesterday when they were waiting there for the verdict. CJ's mom says Tellis was driving. He had a hoodie on, not a wig. Let's hope that jury saw it that way. They got the second laptop. They wanted to also know how to zoom in on the laptop. And they did send a tech person in there to tell them how. Hi, Joanna. Thank you so much. Thank you for your hard work waiting for Ashley's case to develop. Love you. Love you too. Love you too. Love each and every one of you with all of my heart. What kind of reaction? If he's found guilty, what kind of reaction? Please hit the like button. Thank you. It does help the algorithm. What kind of reaction do you think he's going to have if he's found guilty? Cass is reporting live from the kitchen. Red must mean something. All 4 ladies in red. Yes. And they did explain what that was on the news piece. Justice for Jeff Gehrman. And remember, Jeff Gehrman, the reporter, the investigative reporter who wrote for the Las Vegas Review-Journal, was the first person to listen to them and their complaints and to take them seriously, because they had complained to Clark County many, many times, and they were just brushed off and rebuffed. And Jeff Gehrman was the first person to listen to them, and they are heartbroken over his death, because he became a friend to these women because they told him their stories and he listened, and then he reported on them. Mama She, thanks for the 5, is guessing that he's going to have a squished face. Jacko, thanks for the 10. Would have taken much more time to turn around majority guilty to not guilty. Much shorter time period to convert 1 or 2 not guilties. Timing suggests guilty verdict achieved. Okay, Jacko. I like your reasoning there. I like your reasoning, Sarah and Shock and Horror. Coming in with the 10. Thank you. If you sound not guilty, I'll be stunned. But I don't know if anything can take away from the euphoria of being a step closer to justice for Sandra Birchmore and her baby. Yes. But wouldn't it be great if we could get both in one day? Thank you, Sarah. You're always very kind and generous to this channel. LAW said, I think Tellus's face will fold in like a Shar-Pei. Yes, they are his former staff. You are correct. I was pointing that out earlier. Those are all the women who filed the federal lawsuit against him. They were interviewed yesterday. And we can take a look at that interview after this. I have it queued up. Thank you, Marie, for becoming a new member, and Mo for your super sticker. As we all sit here on the edge of our seats, holding our breath. Because if we see a third jury get it wrong this month, within the past 30 days, or no, let's say this summer, it'll be too much. Not wearing a hoodie, had orange short sleeves. I saw that too. And I thought they were orange short sleeves, but then I thought maybe he, scrunched up the sleeves or rolled the sleeves up. Hopefully they were able to zoom in on that video and figure it out. Because we've been hypothesizing about that for a long time. Thank you. Thank you, Jillian. Justice for Jeff. Dewey's prediction is that he will turn red like those ladies and smoke will come out of his ears, then tears from his eyes and howls from his mouth. Paul's like he's going to come out with face tattoos that he drew on with his grease pen. Oh, I love that you guys keep me laughing. If you guys don't know, we have the funniest chat on YouTube. We do. We know that these topics are not funny, but if we do not laugh through them, sometimes we will cry. And this is hands down the funniest chat on YouTube because he does use a grease pen. He's only allowed to use a grease pen. And at one point when he was on the stand, he complained that he had a grease pen. And excuse me, please give me some time to write my notes with my grease pen because, it's hot up here and my grease pen is melting or something like that, he said, right? So thanks, you guys, for keeping me laughing. Hi, Sandy B. Says that she had to take a break from court after Ashley. I think a lot of people felt that's why this was supposed to be our palate cleanser trial. Supposed to be. So let's hope that justice for Jeff Gehrman will be served today. And then Kimmy says, haha, well, he disguised wearing orange. Karma. Karma knows your address. Don't ever forget that. Gen Xer Meg says, so much evidence against him and evidence that was collected properly and a secure crime scene. Yes. And witnesses who were truthful and honest. Each one more beautiful or handsome than the next. This was the trial of beautiful witnesses out of Las Vegas, Nevada. So many women in law enforcement that testified. So many strong, powerful women on the job in Las Vegas. And those of you who live in Las Vegas should be very proud to call Las Vegas Metro PD your hometown police department. Yeah, these are the women who filed the federal lawsuit against him. And if you watch that 48 hours episode that I linked, Grease is his word, Leandra. See, Leandra, you're always coming in with the jokes. If you watch the 48 hours episode that I linked in some of the prior videos on this case, those women spoke out on the 48 hours piece, which was very, very good. That a lot of people are thinking he's going to have like a Jussie Smollett outburst, including JMM Barkovich. Shaky Crafter says, for his wife's sake also, I hope he's found guilty. No doubt he would take it out on her. If not, we watched that horrifying body cam footage from 2020 when his wife called 911 because he was choking her in the car. And that body cam footage was chilling and he was hammered. Absolutely hammered. And it was like a don't you know who I am sort of body cam video of the police putting him in the vehicle. It was chilling. Thank you, Lisa. Justice for Jeff Gehrman. Oh, look at Kurt from Uncivil Law. Not as beautiful as you, Melanie. Oh, Kurt, you trying to build me up? Laura says, because lies don't need an airplane to chase you anywhere. David Brothers, thank you. you. No solo cups. Yep. No solo cups in this trial. There was no Stop and Shop bag, but there was a Sprouts bag. If you remember, somebody cut up the straw hat that the perp was wearing and put it in a Sprouts bag and put it on a tool bench or behind some things on a tool bench in Rob Telly's garage. Crazy, right? Yeah, Dewey, I didn't know grease pens still existed either. Remember, you had to like pull the little string to make them sharp at the top when they got real dull. You had to pull that string and the brown paper would come off around the top of the grease pencil. Those are the grease pencils that I'm thinking of. Donnie Not Wahlberg became a member. What if the real Don Wahlberg became a member? Thank you, Donnie Not Wahlberg, for becoming a member. Wendy, darling, so nice to see you and your Peter Pan reference. I'm a huge Tinkerbell fan. I love Tinkerbell, so I appreciate your Wendy, darling reference. Thanks for the 10. Thank you, Melanie and Monster, being awesome always. Yes, the chat is hilarious. Let's get this guilty. I want to see a temper tantrum. And I also want to see these women in the back row here in red rejoice. I'm here for that too. I'm here for the rejoicing because this has been a long, long road for them as well. It's been almost 2 years to the day since Jeff Garman was murdered. And during the course of this trial, it was Jeff Garman's birthday in heaven. He would have been 71. He was 69 on the day of his death. It was September 2nd of 2022, 9/2/22. Here's math teacher. The 24-hour law tube trifecta executed before the long weekend. Kudos, legal gods, right. That is right. Yesterday, I did a stream on the Karen Reed civil case. The case of Paul O'Keefe, Peggy O'Keefe, John Sr., and Kaylee against Karen Reed, the Waterfall Bar, and C.F. McCarthy's. And if you haven't watched that stream, go watch it because I love my legal analysis on that case. And there's the DA, the current DA of Clark County, Nevada, right there. Many ladies in the chat find him to be a silver fox. So we did that one yesterday. We did the Sandra Birchmore press conference today, and here we are on the Telly's verdict. This is like 2 great YouTube days in a row. Christy says if he gets his orange jumpsuit, then he gets little shoes. What kind of shoes do they give you in prison? I'm curious now. Can't have anything with laces, right? I don't think he's going to be able to bring his little moccasins. He was shoe shamed throughout the course of this trial, and we did talk about that. He was shoe shamed by Zachary Schilling. Is Zachary Schilling in the gallery today? Or any of the other witnesses? Zachary Schilling was a real estate broker that worked with Rob Tellis, who said when he saw that video on TV of the perpetrator, he knew right away it was Jeff Garman because of those cheap Nikes that he was wearing, those knockoff Nikes from Marshalls or Ross with the plastic uppers instead of leather. So he was shoe shamed there. And then he was shoe shamed when he was being cross-examined by the Hamner, who Hamnered it home and said, you weren't wearing those cheap Nikes when you were being surveilled, were you? Nobody knew you had those cheap Nikes. You were wearing your little moccasins, your little gray moccasins. Oh, he's there now. I'm nervous. Anybody else nervous? All right, they're up, but the sound is not up.
Come to order and be seated, please.
The record reflects that the hearing is taking place outside the presence of the jury panel. The court has marked as Courts Exhibit 27 and 28 notes received from the jury panel. Does the state want to say anything?
No, Your Honor.
The defense?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, at this time we can bring the jury panel in.
They sent in notes. Probably the notes said we have a verdict.
You can bring the jury panel.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. To remind everybody to hit the like. You might have to close out the chat if you're on your phone. Neil feels like she's going to be sick. Yeah, we made it past 66.6. We were on devil numbers for a while. Okay, they went to get the jury. If you're just tuning in, welcome, welcome, welcome. They're about to reach the verdict. They're about to read the verdict, which was reached about a little over an hour ago. They held it to broadcast it at noon Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern. The jury's coming in now. Leandra, wait, Lisa and Kulcham is here. Oh, baby, he's going to lose control. Thank you, Leandra, for the 5. Frankie's mom, 143. Will his costume be popular this year for Halloween? I got to tell you, I did think about that. Where can we get that giant straw hat? I don't know if this trial has not really been that popular compared to some of the other ones that I've covered. So I feel like we're the only ones who know about it, but maybe. Here they come. See some prayer hands in the chat, maybe.
Thank you, everyone. Please be seated.
Does the state stipulate to the presence of the panel as well as the 2 alternates? Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Draskovich?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Juror number 2, have you been selected to be the foreperson?
Yes.
Has the jury reached a verdict?
Yes, we have, Your Honor.
Will you please hand the verdict form to Officer Hobbs?
Please have a very golf stops, the closed captions say. So juror number 2 was selected by the jury to be the foreperson. I see 1,600.
Okay, the clerk will now read the verdict form out loud. The defendant and his attorneys will stand for the reading of the verdict.
District Court, Clark County, Nevada, State of Nevada, Plaintiff versus Robert Tellis, Defendant, case number C-368935, Department number 12, verdict. We, the jury in the above entitled case, find the defendant, Robert Tellis, as follows. Murder with use of a deadly weapon, victim 60 years of age or older. Guilty of first-degree murder with use of a deadly weapon, victim 60 years of age or older. Special verdict. The jury unanimously finds the murder willful, deliberate, and premeditated. The jury unanimously finds the murder was committed by means of lying in wait. The jury unanimously finds the murder was committed by means of elder abuse. Guilty of first-degree murder with use of a deadly weapon, special verdict. The jury unanimously finds the murder willful, deliberate, premeditated. Do you want me to finish this?
I'm just having the attorneys approach for just a moment.
Thank you, Judge.
You're not watching the screen. He just shook his head a little bit back and forth. Guilty, guilty, guilty of special circumstances, victim over the age of 60, lying in wait. There is no death penalty on the table here, although the death penalty does exist in Nevada. It is not on the table here. They took it off the table, and I'm just not sure why, but he seems in total disbelief. He's still standing. He sat down for a moment, so let's see what happens next. And look at the women in the back row in red. Here, let me take myself. The women from his office seem to be very happy.
Dated this 28th day of August 2024, signed by foreperson, juror number 2. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, are these your verdicts as read? So say you one, so say you all.
At this time, ladies and gentlemen, the clerk is going to ask you a question. I just ask that you respond yes or no.
Juror number 1 is, are these your verdicts as read?
Yes.
Juror number 2, are these your verdicts as read?
Yes.
Juror number 3, are these your verdicts as read?
Yes.
Juror number 4, are these your verdicts as read?
Yes.
Juror number 5, are these your verdicts as read?
Yes.
Juror number 6, are these your verdicts as read?
Yes.
Juror number 7, are these your verdicts as read?
Yes.
Juror number 8, are these your verdicts as read?
Yes.
Juror number 9, are these your verdicts as read?
Yes.
Juror number 10, are these your verdicts as read?
Yes.
Juror number 11, are these your verdicts as read?
Yes.
Juror number 12, are these your verdicts as read?
Yes. At this time, the clerk will record the verdict in the official record of the court. And at this time, ladies and gentlemen, as you know, pursuant to your verdict, we will now go into the penalty phase of the trial. We're going to take a break and allow the attorneys to get prepared for that penalty phase. So we will start again at 1:30. At this time, you'll all be able to be back together again. You're going to go with the court officer back to the jury deliberation room. And at 1:30, we will begin the penalty phase of this trial. Thank you very much, and you're excused.
Thank you, all right, you're acting jury, please.
We're getting a penalty phase because the jury is going to determine his penalty. The jury is going to determine his sentence, not the judge, which is very interesting. So we have about an hour and 15 minutes until that penalty phase will begin. And the women in the back row are crying. They are wiping their eyes. Wow, just wow. Gen X, thanks for giving us a heart attack, jury. Wow, your mom says, okay, I haven't given up on humanity yet. And now he's being escorted out. Was he cuffed? Because I didn't see. Wow. They are wiping their eyes, every single one of them, not a dry eye in the house. And we'll let this play out until they give us the seal back. And wow, what a day for them. The only person who ever believed their stories and their complaints about Rob Tellis being a toxic boss and discriminating against them. Yes, he was cuffed. Okay. No, they were not on his side, Jackie. They were on the side of Jeff Garriman. Jeff Garriman was the one who listened to their complaints and listened to everything that they had to say about him. Wow, what a day, my friends. What a day. So everyone who said you're not going to watch trials anymore if this verdict doesn't come down the right way, what say you now? How are you feeling now? I'm going to show you the interviews that I saw from yesterday of these women, and I flagged them on a playlist somewhere that I will find for you. But we're going into the penalty phase of this trial, so don't go anywhere yet because they're coming back at 1:30, which is going to be 4:30 Eastern. In the meantime, we can talk about it and we can watch these videos that I have pulled up somewhere. What say you, my friends? Thank you, Lori, for the super sticker. Thank you, Kimmy. Now for sentencing, he will walk out in orange. We'll see, right? We will see. All right, here we are. Let's pull this up for you. These interviews were from yesterday.
N-O-R-A-I-N-D-P-A-G-D-A-N-G-A-N.
This is Fox 5 Las Vegas.
S-I-C-A-C-O-N-E-A-N. Kendria Clary, A-N-D-R-E-A-C-L-A. Just, Rita, what is this wait like? It's been quite a heavy wait, I think is a good way to describe it. Just being patient. We've had 2 years and more of working with this, knowing what's happened, and we believe that the right thing is going to be done. Our hearts and prayers are for justice for Jeff and his family more than anything. It's very, very difficult to wait, but we hope and pray and believe the jury's doing their very best to review everything that they've been told. It's been a lot. We think the prosecution did a great job, and just we hope. I believe the jury's doing a good job and will come to the right decision.
Sorry, considering how the trial went, are you surprised that it's taking this long?
I couldn't say I'm surprised. Didn't know what to expect, and so we just are hoping and praying that the jury, from what we've heard, They've been paying attention, they've been taking notes, they've been asking good questions. And again, we want justice for Jeff and his family more than anything.
Alicia, same question. How surprised are you that we're about hour 10 here?
I actually am surprised. I thought the prosecution did an amazing job. I thought, with all of the evidence that they had, that it would be a pretty easy call to make. But, we're glad they're doing their job and they're taking it seriously. And we're grateful for, Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department did an amazing job. The prosecution's done an amazing job. I even have to give it to Mr. Draskovich for, having a really tough task and taking it. And everyone in this country's, entitled to a defense. And he's done the best, I think, that.
Look at her commending Draskovich for defending the man that they believe killed their friend Jeff German. Classy.
He could possibly do with what he has. So, but yeah, surprised that it is taking so long.
What has it been like for you to see Robert Tellis here?
Very hard, because we've been through a lot for this past years, and we want him to be accountable. It's very difficult.
Can you talk about the importance of red?
Red just symbolizes for us, it's a unifying color that we come in. It's how we remember Jeff, and it's how we're showing him that we're not going to cower. He did his best to push us down as individuals and collectively, and after what he did to the one person that was trying to get our story out, we're just letting him know that we're not going to cower.
Does this weight?
Somebody asked why they were wearing red, and she just explained that beautifully. And they all seem to be wearing buttons as well. I'm not sure what the buttons say. If anybody knows, because you've been in the courtroom or know these women, let me know. These are the women who worked in his office, the old guard, as they were referred to during the trial, the ones who made complaints about him to Clark County and federally, and the ones whose story Jeff German told, and the ones who were profiled in the 48 Hours piece that was done on this case a long time ago.
Add to the emotional roller coaster.
Oh yeah, this is hard. You think you're almost done, and you keep thinking, just push through just a little bit more. We're just gonna push through a little bit more, and then it's like another hour goes by, and another hour, and you're just ready for some kind of answer.
What was it like hearing him give that narrative on the stand?
It was almost like every staff meeting that we ever had. A whole lot of sure, I'll get back to you on that. I'll give you the real good information in a little while. But then he never follows through and rambles and does his best to make sure that you know that you're less than him and he's the smartest person in the room.
How would you guys feel if there was an acquittal?
Like it's a death sentence. Yeah.
Like it's a death sentence,
Like
she
it
said.
would be a death sentence for us. That's how we would feel.
I'm trying not to think about that. I'm trying to stay very hopeful. You never know how you're going to be or what you're going to do in a certain situation. And I don't know, to be honest with you, what I'm going to feel. It's not going to be a good feeling. I think it's going to be very painful. And then we have to figure out how we move forward, if we even can at that point. And my first thought, I believe, will be for Jeff's family, because more than anything, they deserve justice. And of course, in my heart and my mind and in my knowledge, justice would be a guilty verdict.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you,
guys.
so much.
See you tomorrow.
No verdict yet in the murder trial.
Okay, and this was also from last night, and this is from Channel 8, Las Vegas.
Trial of Robert Tellis, the former politician accused of killing investigative reporter Jeff German. Thanks for joining us at 6. I'm Janice Valdez.
And I'm Brian Loftus. 8 News Now investigator Vanessa Murphy has been covering this trial very closely, has the latest now from the Regional Justice Center.
The jury deliberating for more than 10 hours and still no verdict. They've been sent home and they're scheduled to be back here tomorrow at 8:30. Now, employees from the Clark County Public Administrator's Office have been here waiting for the verdict. They're the ones who initially contacted Jeff German, which led to his investigative reports. Here's what some of them had to say.
It's been quite a heavy weight, I think is a good way to describe it. just being patient. We've had 2 years and more of working with this, knowing what's happened, and we believe that the right thing is going to be done. Our hearts and prayers are for justice for Jeff and his family more than anything.
Can you talk about the importance of red?
Yeah, red just symbolizes for us, it's a unifying color that we come in. It's how we remember Jeff, and it's how we're showing him that we're not going to cower. He did his best to push us down as individuals and collectively, and after what he did to the one person that was trying to get our story out, we're just letting him know that we're not going to cower.
Many people thought this was a slam dunk case for the prosecution because of the long list of evidence, including Robert Tellis's DNA under Jeff Gearman's fingernails. But a couple of jury questions, plus these deliberations for more than 10 hours, indicate this may not be the case. The latest jury question to compare video of the suspect walking and Tellis walking from one of Jeff Gearman's stories. So again, the jury's scheduled to be back here tomorrow morning to decide whether to deliver a guilty verdict for murder. Reporting in downtown Las Vegas, Vanessa Murphy, 8 News Now.
Okay, so like I said, those were both from last night, those pieces. I did have one more piece that I wanted to play for you because I think this is the right one. Let me just find out when this was from. This is from KTNV in Las Vegas. And the reporter who's reporting on this is the one who was live tweeting from the courtroom and giving us all the information and letting us know when things were happening, what was happening, when the verdict was coming in. So I want to give her a shout out and put her on. This is from 3 days ago, but I thought it was so interesting because one of OJ's lawyers gives him his opinion on the Tellis trial. So let's take a look at this while we're waiting for the penalty phase to start. Got a little bit of time. Mandy Stone, thanks for your super chat. Guilty verdict will literally cut him down to size when he loses his little shoe lifts in jail. Hi, Melly. Thank you for your super sticker. Frankie's mom says in orange, but missing the hat. No more lifts. TK, thank you for the 20. Wow, just wow. I knew it had to be guilty, but actually hearing it was so emotional. Maybe I'm still emotional from Matthew Farwell indictment. Good day for justice. It is. Mistrial says, what kind of office was it? What type of work? Didn't follow this case. He was a Rob Tellis is a politician, a lawyer. Well, he was both of those things. The public administrator for Clark County. The public administrator is an elected position that steps in whenever there is a person who dies without an estate or a will, and there's property that needs to be distributed or dealt with, debts that need to be taken care of, houses that need to be sold. And Rob Tellis was the public administrator for Clark County. And those women that you just saw in red worked in his office. Bulldog Mom thanking me. Thank you. Thank you, Joanna, for becoming a member. Anniversary verdict, says Jadzia. Oh, anniversary of you being a member for a month? AJ Charles, or it's your anniversary. If it's your anniversary, happy anniversary, Jadzia. AJ Charles, thank you for becoming a member. And Daria, thank you for your super sticker and for always being such a great contributor to the comments and the chat. Let's take a look at this piece where OJ's lawyer weighs in on Tellis. This is from 3 days ago, but it's a local Las Vegas station, and I want to give them some credit.
A county official who was the subject of a series of articles by that journalist.
It's a case that's drawn national attention.
Robert Tellis.
And a story we've been following from the start.
I didn't leave throw away your vehicle. Tellis was upset about articles that were being written by Gearman.
Robert Tellis, now on trial, accused of killing veteran investigative reporter Jeff Gearman.
Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give in this action shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
The former politician deciding to take the stand in his own defense.
I've never killed anybody. I didn't kill Mr. Gearman.
And claims he's being framed. You believe there was police misconduct?
through and through.
The murder weapon is not in your house despite your theory you've been framed.
And now a jury must decide Tellis's fate. If convicted, he could spend the rest of his life in prison. Thanks for joining us this Saturday after the game. I'm Jaewon Jung. It was no surprise Robert Tellis took.
Jaewon Jung. For those of you that are on the cesspool of Twitter, I'm not, but go follow her on Twitter because she only has like 900 followers. And she has really been on top of this trial. The spelling of her name is Jaewon. Her last name is Jung. So she's only got 1,000 followers right now. It was up from 984 or whatever she had before, but give her a follow and let her know how important her work is because she was amazing during the course of this trial.
Took the stand this week. His attorney told us he would, but the surprises came during some fierce cross-examination. Now, I've been following the trial closely, sitting inside the courtroom every day and keeping tabs not just of the events that unfold, but the behaviors inside the courtroom. Tellis was often seen making a lot of facial expressions throughout the trial, and during his testimony, which was told through narration, it was no different. He admitted to jurors he was nervous. His words were confusing and hard to follow.
After that hearing, there still has to be a paper order. It was planned by, that I asked her for commissions. And again, like I said before, I can have my opinions, right? And it's up to you to decide. I'm not the lawyer up here.
You can see prosecutors shaking their heads right there. Tellis did break down when photos were being shown after police served a search warrant on his house. But I noticed some jurors seemed bored at times listening to his testimony, some even crossing their arms and playing with their pens. Well, it was a completely different story during cross-examination. Jurors seemed to be glued to their seats watching the fiery back and forth. Prosecutor Christopher Hamner grilled Tellis. There was a lot of talking over one another, and Tellis repeatedly saying throughout he did not kill Jeff German, even when he wasn't asked. Hamner wanted to get to the bottom of Tellis's claims of being framed by a private realty group called Compass Realty. Take a listen to some of that exchange.
How did Compass break into your home to plant this evidence?
Like I said before, I don't know how it got in there, but I did not put it there, sir.
How did they plant the hat?
And I don't know how it got there, but I didn't put it there.
How did they plant the shoes?
I don't know how it got under the couch, but I did not put it there.
How did they get your DNA in there?
Again, I don't know when and where that DNA was allegedly obtained.
A lot of you have asked me about Tellis's choice to testify. It's an unusual choice for a defendant, but it is their constitutional right. I spoke with criminal defense attorney Malcolm Laverne, who was O.J. Simpson's longtime lawyer. Malcolm, thank you so much for joining.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for inviting me on.
So you're very familiar with high-profile cases, and I know you've been following the Robert Tellis case. What are your thoughts?
Well, my first thought is that Tejas' attorney, Robert or Bob Draskovich, as I know him, is really the class of the profession. I mean, he really was handed something that is almost insurmountable. And the way he's cross-examined the prosecution's case and the defense that he put on before Tejas decided to testify really just makes him the class of the profession. My second thought is that the prosecution obviously put on a very intensive forensic case. You have a defendant who has denied any involvement.
I didn't kill Mr. German.
And they meticulously put on piece by piece by piece. But I have to say, my biggest thought is there has been no bigger witness for the prosecution to make the prosecution's case than Mr. Tejas choosing to get up there and testify on his own behalf.
As an attorney, when you have a defendant who wants to testify, what do you usually advise them?
You usually advise defendants not to testify, the exception being a self-defense case. This is a whodunit. The police are trying to figure out who did it, and the person that they're saying did it is saying, I didn't do it.
I am not crazy. I am innocent. And, I'm not the kind of person who could brutally murder another man.
There's very rarely a circumstance where you probably want that defendant, especially when a lot of evidence is pointing towards their involvement in it. Anytime Hamner asked him very uncomfortable questions about evidence in the case.
Visor is down, just like the killer's car.
You're talking about, obviously, at this point in time.
Your visor is down in your Yukon, just like the killer's Yukon.
Taya started taking notes. I don't know what he's doing. He's sitting up there taking notes. I've never had someone who testified on their own behalf in a case that sat there and took notes. I wouldn't even allow him to. The Robert Tellez that's up there testifying is not the Robert Tellez I know. I just frankly think he's kind of lost his mind. He's gone, and he may never recover his sanity. He's just going to live in this never world for the rest of his life, and it's sad.
Right before I left the courtroom on Friday, attorneys and the judge were having an in-chambers meeting on jury instructions. Jury deliberation can begin as early as Monday afternoon. Jeff Gehrman's family has been coming to the trial every day. They have not spoke publicly about Gehrman's death and were respecting their privacy. But Gehrman's former colleagues at the Review Journal tell us he was a dogged reporter who dedicated his life to truth-telling. Gehrman would have turned 71 on Friday.
Norpagdan, Jessica Coleman, Jessicacone, Kendria Clary, Andrea. Just, Rita, what is this weight like?
It's been quite a heavy weight, I think is a good way to describe it. Just being patient. We've had 2 years and more of working with this, knowing what's happened, and we believe that the right thing is going to be done. Our hearts and prayers are for justice for Jeff and his family more than anything. It's very, very difficult to wait, but we hope and pray and believe the jury's doing their very best to review everything that they've been told. It's been a lot. We think the prosecution did a great job, and just we hope. I believe the jury's doing a good job, and will come to the right decision.
Sorry, considering how the trial went, are you surprised that it's taking this long?
I couldn't say I'm surprised. Didn't know what to expect, and so we just are hoping and praying that the jury, from what we've heard, they've been paying attention, they've been taking notes, they've been asking.
I tried to put her username, and when I typed the @ it took this off the screen. So hang on a second.
Good questions, and again, we want justice for Jeff and his family more than anything.
Alicia, same question. How surprised are you that we're about hour 10 here?
I actually am surprised. I thought the prosecution did an amazing job. I thought, with all of the evidence that they had, that it would be a pretty easy call to make. But, we're glad they're doing their job, and they're taking it seriously, and we're grateful for, Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department did an amazing job. The prosecution's done an amazing job. I even have to give it to Mr. Draskovich for, having a really tough task and taking it, and everyone in this country's, entitled to a defense, and he's done the best I think that he could possibly do with what.
Yeah, this was from 3 days ago. We just wanted to watch what OJ's lawyer had to say.
It's taking so long.
What has it been like for you to see Robert Tellez here?
Very hard, because we've been through a lot for this past years, and we want him to be accountable. It's very difficult.
Can you talk about the importance of red?
Red just symbolizes for us, it's a unifying color that we come in. It's how we remember Jeff, and it's how we're showing him that we're not going to cower. He did his best to push us down as individuals and collectively, and after what he did to the one person that was trying to get our story out, we're just letting him know that we're not going to cower.
Does this weight add to the emotional roller coaster?
Oh yeah, this is hard. You think you're almost done, and you keep thinking, just push through just a little bit more. We're just gonna push through a little bit more, and then it's like another hour goes by and another hour, and then you're just ready for some kind of answer.
What was it like hearing him give that narrative on the stand?
It was almost like every staff meeting that we ever had. A whole lot of, sure, I'll get back to you on that. I'll give you the real good information in a little while. But then he never follows through and rambles and does his best to make sure that you know that you're less than him and he's the smartest person in the room.
How would you guys feel if there was an acquittal?
Like it's a death sentence.
What was
Say that
that?
one more time.
Like it would be a death sentence for us. That's how we would feel.
I'm trying not to think about that. I'm trying to stay very hopeful. You never know how you're going to be or what you're going to do in a certain situation. And I don't know, to be honest with you, what I'm going to feel. It's not going to be a good feeling. I think it's going to be very painful. And then we have to figure out how we move forward if we even can at that point. And my first thought, I believe, will be for Jeff's family, because more than anything, they deserve justice. And of course, in my heart and my mind and in my knowledge, justice would be a guilty
That's
verdict.
right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Thank you all
guys.
so much. See you tomorrow.
That is right.
No verdict yet in the murder.
And that was from a couple of days ago. So we're going to move on to something else because Jeff Gehrman's employer has just released a statement that says today a Clark County jury delivered a measure of justice for Jeff Gehrman, and we hope it brings some solace to his family, friends, and colleagues. Jeff was killed for doing the kind of work in which he took great pride. His reporting held an elected official accountable for bad behavior and empowered voters to choose someone else for the job. Robert Tellis could have joined the long line of publicly shamed Nevada politicians who've gone on with their lives out of the spotlight or back in it. Instead, he carried out a premeditated revenge killing with terrifying savagery. Today also brought a measure of justice for slain journalists all over the world. Our jobs are increasingly risky and sometimes dangerous in many countries, and sometimes dangerous, period. In many countries, the killers of journalists go unpunished. Not so in Las Vegas. Our thanks to the police and prosecutors whose diligent work won this conviction. Let's also remember that this community has lost much more than a trusted journalist. Jeff was a good man who left behind a family who loved him and friends who cherished him. His murder remains an outrage. He is missed. And that's from Glenn Cook, the executive editor of the Las Vegas Review-Journal. And that statement was just released a few moments ago. That is justice is being served today, you guys, all over the place. See if there's any current news clips that we can find to play. Doesn't seem like there's too much up yet. I was thinking maybe there would be a press conference, but I don't think that the prosecutor is going to do a press conference before the penalty phase, but because that is coming up next. Very kind of, not very shortly, but in about 40 minutes. Darius says this lawyer was in court TV. Interesting. He knew him. Yes. Wasn't that interesting? Dying to hear from the jurors after this. Oy vey, says Lynette Burns, but they're not done yet. The jury's going to be present for the penalty phase because they're going to decide the penalty. Thanks, Lynette, for your super chat. Ian Mack, thank you for the 10, says they are beautiful. They are beautiful. I'm just a girl in the world. Hi. I have SB in this case to catch up on. No better place to do it. Thank you. Thank you so much for the 5. He'll be an orange for the victim impact, says Travis. Mara Monty says roses for Jeff, flowers for Jeff. If I lived in Vegas, I'd go pay my respects. Gisler was sitting behind Tellis even? Was he there today? Yes, David, I'm going to be covering it. We're just waiting for it to happen. I don't know if I should leave this stream up or this stream and go to a new stream. I'm thinking about it right now. Got to rewatch? Just rewind. Just rewind. We were here for it. Today was a good day, said Ice Cube. What are the choices for the penalties? We're going to see. We're going to see, but I'll pull them up because I did a little research earlier. I'll tell you what my research revealed in Nevada. Except I have too many tabs open. Here we go. So this is first degree murder. Yeah. Choices are, well, death is off the table. So it could be life in prison without the possibility parole, or life with parole after 20 years, or 50 years in prison with parole after 20 years. So I think those are the choices. For second degree murder, it's life with parole after 10 years, or 25 years in prison with parole after 10 years. Okay. I think he's going to come back in the orange suit, I think. Steve Wolfson just finished a live news conference. All right. Where can I find that? Is it on one of these amazing channels like 8 News Now, Las Vegas? Let's see. Oh, you got it. We got it. All right. Well, this is only 25 seconds long, though. It's only 26 seconds long. Could that be? Is that all it was, Joan? Hold on. Well, I'll pull this up because it's all I have right now. There he is, ladies. Steve Wolfson, the DA, your silver fox, reacting to the verdict.
Finally, today's verdict should send a message. And that message is a clear message that any attempts to silence the media or to silence or intimidate a journalist will not be tolerated. That's what occurred in this case. That's what occurred, and that's why today justice was served.
All right, let's see. I don't know. The Las Vegas Review Journal might not like me restreaming their stuff, but that was an interesting statement. No, it's going to be live. We're going to watch it, Penelope. We're going to watch it when it comes back in about a half an hour or so. Let's see, Las Vegas. Well, here's one that's a little bit longer. It's 1 minute and 29 seconds. Let's watch this one. Giving the local news some props. This is again KTNV, Channel 13, Las Vegas. And this is Clark County DA Stephen Wolfson reacting to the verdict.
Okay, good afternoon. I'm Steve Wolfson, the Clark County District Attorney.
Crappy audio
what
too.
I'd like to do is make a few remarks and a couple of comments, and then I'll take some questions. I'd like to first start out by thanking the jury for their hard work and diligence in arriving certainly at the appropriate verdict. I'd like to acknowledge the family and friends of Jeff German. It's been a long, tough couple of years, but finally justice has been served. I'd like to acknowledge the lawyers, and I'd like to acknowledge the lawyers actually on both sides. Mr. Draskovich and Mr. Harvath did a remarkable job on behalf of their client. But I'd like to further acknowledge the excellent work of my 2 prosecutors, Chief Deputy District Attorney Pam Weckerly and Christopher Hamner, who both did an outstanding job. Finally, Today's verdict should send a message. And that message is a clear message that any attempts to silence the media or to silence or intimidate a journalist will not be tolerated. That's what occurred in this case. That's what occurred, and that's why today justice was served.
Yeah, he's no Michael Marcy, huh? He didn't say anything improper, so I don't think he can get in trouble for that, Denny Don. I mean, he's been, he's found guilty. It's going to be up to the jury now to decide how much time he spends in prison. No, it's not going to mess up anything. I don't think so. Sending a message that reporters cannot be silenced. Right? So they're going to have like a little mini trial now. They're going to have a little mini trial. You could have a cold beer if it's 5 o'clock somewhere, Green Beagle. Linda says, true, the best prosecutor I've seen in action. He was calm and clear without the drama. This is true. Salt says, classy guy. This DA, Las Vegas, does it right. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. But dang it, if we won't find out what happened, serve you up justice. Right? Angela asked earlier, how do trial attorneys endure these emotional roller coasters? It's crazy. It's crazy. Like, think of the roller coaster that you endure just watching it, right? It's crazy. You don't sleep. You don't eat. I mean, look at like Alan Jackson and David Yannetti. And that trial went on for 9 weeks. Could you imagine? Every single day you're working on the case, every night and every day. You don't get any sleep. It's exhausting. Sharon said, I saw on another chat, something's also coming down on Tully and someone else today, but I don't know for sure. I haven't heard anything. No, I've been with you guys all day. I haven't even had a chance to look. Green Beagle says, I'm just watching. Speaking of bailiffs, I used to be one and worked with one who slept to the drooling part. Oh, in every single trial. Wow. And he got away with it because he was a favorite. Wow. Where were you, a bailiff? And is there a difference between a bailiff and a court officer? In New York, we call them court officers. So I'm interested to know that. And I love this quote. I'm going to pick it up again from Becky. Speak your mind, even if your voice shakes. Such brave women. What happened in Vegas didn't stay there this time. Nope. Sure didn't. Sure didn't. Fanning and Tully? Something's going to happen to Fanning and Tully today? My God. My God. I might have to go catch up on this, and then we have to maybe come back for the penalty phase on this. Because I think that's what we're going to have to do. All right, so they said what? It's coming back at 1:30, so that's 4 p.m. Eastern. Let's all go take a break. But what I'm going to do is don't go anywhere just yet, because what I'm going to do is redirect us again and teleport you over there so that you don't get lost or anything on the way. I don't want you getting lost or going somewhere else, but I think we all need a break. This has been a very, very crazy morning with what happened on the Sandra Birchmore case, and then with what happened on this case. I don't know, how much excitement can we take for one day? So there's going to be like another little mini trial after this, and they're going to present witnesses if they so choose. Perhaps in this jurisdiction, they will do some victim impact statements. We'll have to see. And I would imagine probably they will, because that would be done before a judge would impose sentence. So in this case, the jury is going to impose sentence. And so I would imagine that the victim impact statements will happen. And the women in red may be coming up and making us cry some more. So get your tissues, get your popcorn. Feels like Christmas. Liz says, Ted Dillon has not spoken a word about Tully. I think he would have it. I think so. Deborah says it feels like Christmas. Don't get lost. You won't get lost. We're gonna teleport down all over there. It's been a day, you guys. It's been a day. Scott's like, old 800 numbers or $2 for the first minute. Oh my gosh. Do you remember that? That was crazy. Or you could call a party line. Remember the party lines? Before, like, I guess people would like get on party lines to meet other people before the internet. That was just weird. Yes, I did. I was alive before the internet. Isn't that so crazy? Ned's like, you'd think they'd use a roulette wheel for the sentence. That is correct. Tully and Fanning are Massachusetts state troopers in the Sandra Birchmore case, which is the case we covered right before this one. They were also involved in the Karen Reed case. All right, everybody into the teleporter? Are you all there? All right, yeah. Hey, we're not. Thank you, Prop Man 14415. We're not chuckling about people being murdered for clicks and super chats, but thanks for coming over and leaving your nasty comments. We've been I guess you don't know who I am, or you've never followed my channel or watched any of my coverage, but that's not what goes on here. So who would like to give him this man, Prop Man 415, his boarding pass? Anyone? Do you have any takers? What a dick. Goodbye, sir. Take your BS somewhere else. See ya. Ugh. It's the one-way ticket to where you should be. You think he needs a hug? I don't think so. I don't think anybody needs to hug anybody like that. That's not what this is about. So GFY, thank you so much for playing. Have a great day. All right, guys. Moving on over. Good news comes in threes. That's true. Get on over. Be cool, be kind, be classy. Don't be a jerk. It's not that hard. Hit the like button here and then hit it on the way into the next one, please. Okay, love you guys so much. Go get some snacks and stuff. And we're here for justice, Prop Man. Moving on. Love you guys.